Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing really well. Today we're going to talk all about having a really healthy gut. I think this is one of the most important things when it comes to having a healthy, happy, well-functioning body. Your gut is almost like your second brain, and actually 95% of your serotonin, which is the happy chemical hormone that makes you feel really good, that is mostly produced in your gut. So not in your brain, but in your gut. So we want to make sure that our gut is happy so that it can share that beautiful serotonin with our brain. Plus, your skin is so affected by the health of your gut. So if you suffer from acne or oily skin, or you just want to improve the look and like the glowiness on your skin, having a good digestion is key for that. So I want to share my tips with you guys. These are the things that work really well for me. When I'm consistent with these things, I do see it in my body. My stomach stays nice and flat. I don't have like digestive issues, and I just feel better. So let's get started with the first tip. Now, this might be a little TMI, but I want to go there today with this video. I think it's really important to talk about this, and it's such a key in having healthy digestion, and that is elimination. It's kind of funny how like eating and socializing around food and like consuming food is such a normal and like socially acceptable thing to talk about, but like, you know, the other end, like where does that food go? That end of the process is something that's not really talked about, and I do understand why, but I want to go there today because I think it's so important. So my first tip for healthy digestion is to go to the bathroom first thing in the morning. This is actually something that's commonly practiced in the Ayurvedic tradition of medicine. The way that I do this, and a lot of you guys may already know this if you've seen my other videos, my what I ate today's, I drink water the first thing when I wake up. I have room temperature water. That's really important. You don't want to have cold water first thing in the morning, and I would just recommend not having cold water at all because it's really not that good for your gut. So room temperatured water, or sometimes I will do warm water. So I'll boil some water and I'll have like half boiled water and half regular water so that it's a nice kind of like warmer temperature, and I will drink that. And you guys, it sets off my digestion. When you drink water first thing in the morning, it creates like a natural kind of like flow in your digestive system, and it starts to become like a little signal and a little trigger to your body. So drinking water first thing in the morning is so important. And also, you have just woken up from a really long fast, so when you're sleeping, you're not eating or drinking anything, and the first thing that you want to do is rehydrate your body. We're made of almost 80% water, and all of our cells, all of our tissues and organs, they need water, especially our digestive system. And also, if you just think about it from your body's perspective, what would you want to receive first thing in the morning? You would want something natural, something that you can use, and you know, things like coffee and food, that's fine, but I think first thing is really important to have water. When you eliminate first thing in the morning, you are freeing up all of that space in your stomach, and you just feel so clean and like tight and lightweight. You know, you don't feel like heavy or bogged down. I usually wake up pretty early, but if we have like a flight or something that's maybe at 6 in the morning and I still want to do like my little routine and things, I will factor in the time that I need to have my water in the morning and go to the bathroom. I will not start my day before I go to the bathroom. I actually used to struggle a lot with this a few years ago before I got into this really good rhythm. I would get ready super fast and I would go, and then I would just kind of like wait. But sometimes if I was stressed or I had people over, or I don't know, like I was on vacation or something, I just felt so awful in my stomach, and I remember it caused me a lot of stress as well. Plus, if you think about it, what you're eliminating is full of toxins and like old stuff that your body doesn't want, and if you just let it sit in there for too long, it's also not good for your body, and you're kind of like sitting in your own toxins, you know. So as soon as you wake up, you want to eliminate that stuff. If you start doing this regularly, you will get into a really good rhythm and a really good habit of doing this, and it will become like second nature. If I'm at home, if we're traveling, whatever the case is, I always make sure the night before that I have at least like 1 liter to 1.5 liters of water, and I will drink that in the morning. I'll go to the bathroom, and then I'll start my day. I'll do my meditation after that, I'll do my exercise, I'll do my journaling, my work, or whatever it is, but that is like the #1 thing that I do when I wake up. So now I think we know each other a little bit better. I hope you can appreciate my honesty and my willingness to provide value to you guys, even though it's something that's not really talked about a lot, but this is something that is key for me with my digestion, and that allows my stomach to stay flat, allows me to feel really good and lightweight and like not bogged down throughout the day. Additional little tip, as we're already on this topic, when you do go to the bathroom, keep your knees up. You want to be in the natural position for elimination, and that is with your knees upwards. Also on the topic of water and staying hydrated, that is of course such a key. I'm personally not a huge fan of drinking a lot of water with my meals. I prefer to have most of my water like between them, so either before or after. I will sometimes have a little bit of water, but too much water during your meal can actually dilute the saliva and the enzymes that it takes to break down the food. So you don't want to be like over diluting and overflowing your system with water when you're eating, but like an hour or 30 minutes before you sit down to eat is an amazing time to drink water, because you're loosening up your digestive system, you're lubricating it, you're waking up the cells with lots of good hydration. So that's definitely also very, very important to know. My second tip for a nice flat tummy and good digestion is to feed the good bacteria in your gut. There are prebiotics and probiotics. Prebiotics are like a good fertilizer for the good bacteria in your gut. Prebiotics come from pretty much all plant-based foods. So sweet potato is a great source of prebiotics. Greens are another great source. There's certain types of fruits that are good, like apples. And then there are probiotics, which are live bacteria that can be found in yogurts and in like kefir, and also in fermented foods like kimchi, and sauerkraut, and kombucha, and different things like that. So you need a good balance of both for your gut. There are also certain supplements that you can take that have prebiotics and probiotics. One that I really like is called Glow. It's the Inner Beauty Powder from the Beauty Chef. I mentioned this in my recent vlog, and I really, really love this. It's got a blend of over 20 natural ingredients, and you get a minimum of 500 million probiotics per serving. There are lots of supplements on the market, so you can definitely, you know, pick and choose which one suits you, but this is one that I've really been enjoying lately. So with having a good balance of prebiotics and probiotics, it's also really important to eat anti-inflammatory foods. Inflammation is one of the biggest culprits when it comes to imbalances in the body, and most inflammation stems from not having a healthy gut. So examples of anti-inflammatory foods are, for example, cruciferous vegetables, which are especially good for the gut. So broccoli, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts. So many doctors that I read about and read books from and just watch like videos and documentaries on, they all stress the importance of cruciferous vegetables. Sweet potatoes are also very anti-inflammatory, and it's something that the bacteria in your gut love. And of course, most greens are anti-inflammatory. You can do some research online and find like the best anti-inflammatory foods. And of course, on the other end of the spectrum, you want to avoid foods that cause inflammation, that cause this like disruption in your gut. And a lot of you guys probably know about gluten. That's a huge sensitivity for a lot of people. For the most part, I do avoid gluten, but there are certain occasions where I'll indulge in a nice pasta, or I'll have some bread, or I'll have like, you know, a cake or something that has gluten in it. But I think it's more about what you do for the majority of your diet. So I don't believe in a completely restrictive, 100% clean, 100% of the time. I would say like 80 to 90% of my diet is really good. Like I just enjoy eating clean and healthy, but then I do have my moments when I'm not so healthy. We're human, we have cravings, we socialize, we go places where it's not always easy to find, you know, super healthy things, specifically if we're traveling, if, you know, we're in airports or at hotels, or we just want to enjoy life. You know, there are those moments, so I don't think you have to be so strict on yourself, but in general, I try to avoid gluten. Something else that can cause a lot of inflammation in your body is dairy. We've spoken about dairy tons and tons on my channel, and you guys know that that's something that I avoid for my skin. And there are so many alternatives to dairy products these days. You can find milks, cheeses, butters, yogurts, ice creams, pretty much everything. So for me, it's not something that I even like, I'm not even interested in it. I can find those other alternatives if, you know, I am craving something like that. So dairy is something to definitely avoid. for your gut. And of course, you know, highly processed things, sugary things, sodas, things like that. And my third tip for healthy digestion is intermittent fasting. This is something that I talked about briefly in my last vlog. And with intermittent fasting, you are giving your digestion a break from eating. It's not necessarily about cutting calories or eating less food, but you eat your food in a certain window of time and then you let your digestive system rest for the rest of the time. So what works really well for me is I'll have my last meal at around 8 o'clock in the evening, and then I'll have breakfast the next day, but I'll wait until around 12 o'clock to eat. That gives my body around a 16-hour fasting period. I've been loving the benefits so far, and there's so much information and research that you can read about. I think it's also a really great way to get to know your body better and to start eating more intuitively. There are different ways of doing an intermittent fast, but I think just like the principle of not overloading your digestive system, you know, for the whole day is really important. I will leave some interesting resources down below in the description box if you guys want to read more about this. Moving on to my fourth tip for healthy digestion and a flat tummy, that is exercise. So exercise is not only really good for just burning excess calories and excess fat and toning up your body from a physical level, but if you think about it, when you're exercising, you are literally moving your body. So you're moving your organs, you're moving your intestine, and it allows all of those tubes to move as well. And if you've ever seen what the inside of our intestines look like, it's like a very, very long, winding tube. That's actually such a phenomenal thing in our bodies. I think if you stretch it out, like if you stretch out the surface of your intestine, it's almost the size of a tennis court. But anyway, when you are exercising, you're also moving that tube. So you're facilitating the movement of the food through your intestine. And that's why also doing yoga and certain stretches can be really good if you're having some issues with your digestive system, specifically if you're just feeling like a little stuck and constipated, and that's because you're literally moving and manipulating the way that the tubes are moving. And on the opposite end of that, you can imagine if you are very stagnant throughout the entire day, if you've been sitting down working at your desk or in school, or for me, I spend a lot of hours on the computer just sitting down editing videos, replying to emails, working, etc. Sitting down too much can cause your metabolism to really slow down, and that can also then have an effect on your digestive tract. So making sure you're getting in a good workout at least like 4 times per week. If you can, do it every single day. It doesn't have to be something, you know, crazy and like a crazy HIIT class or an intense spinning class or something like that. Even just going on a walk just to move your body, get the blood moving, get your metabolism fired up, and just have like some movement in your body can be really, really helpful. Plus, exercise will release really good hormones and endorphins in your body, which make you feel really good. They make you happy, they reduce stress, and all of that is really important for, you know, a healthy digestive system. This brings me on to my fifth tip, which is to reduce stress in your body. Basically, when we feel stressed, our body is releasing adrenaline and cortisol all over our body, and when we're in this state, it puts our body into fight or flight mode. So it literally diverts a lot of the blood from our digestive system to our arms and our legs to either run from that lion or to fight it. So it's a natural self-defense mechanism that's deeply engraved in the ancient parts of our brain, and it used to be a really important response system in our body. It kept us alive and, you know, away from danger. But now our bodies are producing this cortisol and this adrenaline, which is actually not helping our body. In fact, it's causing stress and havoc on our body and can actually cause you to store more fat, specifically around your waist area. So repeatedly diverting blood away from your GI tract can actually cause your gut wall to break down, and that can lead to leaky gut syndrome. It can cause a host of other digestive issues. So it's really important to try to keep the cortisol level as low as possible in your body. And there are certain things that I like to do on a daily basis that just help me to kind of manage that. Something that I love, which I've talked about a lot and you guys probably know, is I like to meditate. I usually do this as part of my morning routine. I will take 10 to 15 minutes and I'll open an app on my phone. It'll either be Headspace, Simple Habit is really good as well, and there are lots of great meditations for free that you can find on YouTube. It's an amazing thing to do in the mornings, and it really helps set the tone for the day. It is quite relaxing to sit there, but it also teaches you mindfulness. It's not about just feeling good good in the moment of meditation, but you know, you can take that lesson that you learned or those skills that you're learning through the meditation and carry them with you throughout the day, and that has a huge effect on your stress levels, on your happiness, on how reactive you are to certain things, and also on your focus and where you choose to place your attention. So meditation is amazing. We also spoke a little bit about exercising, which is of course so great for your body and to keep the stress levels low, and just in general trying to keep your self-talk positive as well and not being too like negative on yourself, because that can cause a lot of stress, and that's all like self-manufactured. I mean, there's things that happen outside of us that we can't always control, like, you know, if your client is late or if the weather's horrible or, you know, there's traffic and things like that. Those are usually out of our control, but what's in our control are our thoughts, our environment, what we choose to listen to, what we choose to read, and how we can like uplift and motivate ourselves. And also when I sit down to eat, I want to eat in a calm and peaceful setting. I don't like to eat if there's like a big discussion or an argument or something going on. Like, I just can't. My stomach is going to be so upset. So I like to take my time when I eat. I don't want to be stressed. I will usually sit down and I'll listen to an audiobook, or I'll watch something nice on YouTube, or, you know, I'll be with a friend and I'll try to have a positive conversation. I don't really like to talk about, you know, negative things or upsetting things over food, because I feel like it has such a huge effect on my digestive system, and I just feel like I can't digest the food properly. And especially when I'm alone and I'm eating, I also try to think about how the food that I'm eating is really going to nourish my body, and trying just to be present and mindful of what you're eating and not be like in a whole other world and like shoving food down your throat. And I think you also eat more intuitively that way as well when you are present and when you are more mindful. Have you ever noticed if you're like watching TV or, you know, distracted by something and you have like food or sweets or whatever? I anyway would eat way more than if I was being present and mindful when I'm eating. So definitely keep that in mind. And with that said as well, if you are going to indulge in something like a cookie or a cake or whatever, have a good feeling when you're doing that. If you are going to indulge in something that's not that healthy, and then at the same time you're thinking about how bad it is for you, that also produces cortisol and that like not such a good feeling in your body. So if you are going to indulge in something, feel good about it. I think it's so important to have a good balance and not be like super restrictive and have like a negative mindset around food. So those are my top 5 tips for a really healthy gut, for a healthy digestive system, for a flat tummy. These are the things that work really well for me, and I would love to hear from you guys. Let me know if you also practice some of these things that I talked about and which one works really well for you, or if you also have some tips that I haven't talked about in this video. Please share them with me down below in the comments. It's always nice to hear from you. I am also going to be doing a giveaway in this video, so all of the products that you see on the screen right now, one of you guys have a chance to win all of these. They're all brand new. If you want to enter to win, all you have to do is leave a comment under this photo. This photo is going to be over on my Instagram. I will also have a link for it down below in the description box. To enter the giveaway, you can actually comment what your favorite digestive tip is, or something that you do for yourself that works really well for you, and that can be your entry for this giveaway. So again, I will have all of the details down below in the description box. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you're all having a beautiful day, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.